I think you're a band. No, for me, you're definitely a band who knows how to mobilize the will to live and the make me to hold on to certain beliefs or certain things. So I'd like to give you now some topics, and I want to know your thoughts about that, just in a very few words.
Watch it.
So yeah, watch it. Planet Earth, the planet we live on.
Well, my mum is really into this. She's a real eco-warrior, my mother. So she has a big influence on me, and I've always been a bit cynical about it, but I must admit the last couple of years I've really... I think it was about 7 or 8 weeks ago that there was a big summit in the European Union to cut emissions and everything else, and, of course, the good old America refused to comply with anything, and just, America's like the biggest polluter in the free world, and as long as their economy is right, they don't give a shit, they'll just kill everything as long as their economy's going.
Human behavior.
Start scratching. Yeah. He's very, very close to the primates, James.
Human behavior. I just think just people are just much better when they're actually interacting with people. I think I think me and Nick probably disagree about it, but I don't certainly think that solitude or isolation is a good thing for humans. I think we're much better when we're actually interacting with people that we know or like or understand.
Technology.
Sean, ask Sean.
Our drummer is just...
Sean is technology.
Yeah. The biggest technophile in the world. He could fix any mainframe computer in the world. He could just fix any heating system, any car, any laptop. He could just do anything. So our drummer is the connection to the outside, new technological world.
I think we all know technology is important, but half the time the problem with technology is the actual content that's within technology. It doesn't matter how great a leap forward is if actually what's inside the technology is worthless. Like with the internet, 50% of the internet is really good and exciting, but 50% of it is absolute just garbage, just like any other thing. So no matter how quick you make it or,
yes,
whatever, it doesn't really matter if there's a lot of rubbish on it.
Belief.
Well, the older I get, the more spiritual I get. I have to say that. I don't want to go through a Bob Dylan religious phase here, but...
Good. Oh, was it?
I don't know, it's just the way I feel.
Good sense. Politics.
Dead.
God.
Dead.
Alive.
Really? Why do you think?
Excuse me,
Why do you think? Well, why do you say dead for you?
It's just easy because because there's no balance in reward for good or bad. There's no balance in the reward for doing good or bad things. It's completely imbalanced. You may be a good person, but you still you don't get any reward for it. You'd be a bad person, you can get rewarded in so many ways. The length of your life has got nothing to do with how good you are in the life you live itself. So all those rewards should be given by God, and he doesn't give them, so he must be dead.
It's an opinion.
That's the fucking truth.
No. Okay, do you think there's a need for socialization of moderation or humility? Do you know what I mean?
Sorry?
Do you think there's a need for a socialization of moderation or humility, that the people have keep the expectations in everything a lot lower? That
I think that might help society, yeah. I think we have... Capitalism gives you gigantic expectation. That's what it thrives on, the fact that even if you've got a Mercedes, then you must have a Porsche. If you've got a Porsche, you must have a McLaren. That's what capitalism thrives on, and humility is a kind of outdated concept within capitalism, because capitalism is desire, that's where it is. So there's nothing wrong with desires, but once you actually get them and you realize it's still shit, then humility is a very good thing, I think.
It's just the same with people people constantly use their vote by choosing the government which is going to tax them less. They still expect just all their healthcare and their education, etc., 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 you know, to function perfectly. But like, you know, they constantly use their vote, you know, to vote for the government that's not going to tax them as much.
Right. I think we could continue doing this, but second single from your album is coming up, the video for So Why So Sad. Do you want to tell something about that video? Because it's a pretty hard one.
It's just the idea of people not realizing what's going on around them, the kind of a kind of an American aesthetic that as long as I'm getting a beautiful suntan, I don't really care that if there's an invasion going on. You know, it's just that idea of not being aware of the horrors of the world, being insulated to such an extent that you just don't realize what's going on around you.